7:35 now, and
I
Dale
like
and
the
Jerry are in the studios. Morning, gang.
Good morning.
How
are
you guys
ya?
doing?
Are
Good.
you tweeting over there? What are you
No,
doing?
I'm just seeing if I've got anything on my calendar to talk about. No. Doctor appointments and,
Well, you're telling me you're counting your steps now?
Yeah.
oh, I've been doing that.
He's
yeah.
been doing that.
Is that a bit fit or what do they call that?
Yeah, this just,
It's a phone.
Oh, it's on the phone.
yeah, it's a walk logger.
Oh.
And if he has his phone with it, it'll log his walk.
Hey,
But if he leaves the phone on the table, then
Won't be
Lost-
logging it.
Not
lost
so much.
Logging
steps.
well, what have you guys been up to lately?
Honey, what have
Well-
we been up to?
Back and forth to the doctor for, just routine checks and stuff like that. But we went this last weekend, we did go to the Washington Youth Academy. My grandson is going through the program there. It's for kids at risk.
Uh-huh.
And he's been needs a little bit of discipline. And when I look at, he's from a broken home, of course, and both parents feel that they're pretty strict on him, but evidently not strict enough.
Right.
But anyway, he was fortunate enough to get into that academy, and it is a military type academy, and so they have to pass muster and do all their exercise.
They're up at
and
4:30 in the morning, 7 days a week.
Is he enjoying it?
he's in. I
Wow.
think he is enjoying it
That's
because
wonderful.
what?
They shave his head?
Yeah,
yeah,
all
yeah.
military gear
yeah.
on.
They-
Live in barracks.
Good.
There's 2 platoons of males and a platoon of females. It's 3
Yeah.
platoons there.
Yeah.
Huh.
And, of course, Jerry invited the commandant to come down here to the radio station and talk with you
Oh,
about
No,
the program.
at 4:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
Well,
no. I asked them if they would be willing to. We have to.
Be interesting to see about that.
Yeah.
Learn about that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and what we do, we do all these things like graduation matters and different things like this, and it's all about the kid and what the kid needs. And my grandson Cameron needs a little bit more structure,
Right.
and then just like all kids, they're kind of not midterm; they're more like 2/3 of the way through. And the sergeants dropped by that day. It was a family day, and so there was all these tents with people picnicking and whatnot, barbecuing, and the sergeants came through and gave the family the lowdown, and also, directly to him. The family was there to listen, but it's a matter of discipline, and he's 17 years old. You don't think about discipline,
Right.
and that not every kid does. Some are taught that all along, but this discipline that both
Jeff
families.
was
there
very
are
disciplined
rules
as a
and
child.
They need to follow them. So
Correct. And then the amount of time it actually takes, a parent with a teenager and whatnot. So bottom line, it's made some improvement. There's a long way to go, and it's really he's realizing it's up to him.
Yeah.
Oh,
And if
good.
he doesn't do it, then it doesn't get done and he doesn't pass. And this actually makes up most of his credits that he needs to graduate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, in 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
they do it in 22 weeks.
Well, you get up that early, you get a lot done.
Oh, jeez. I guess so.
Yeah. But
Yeah, that's the truth.
immediately when he went in and they did started the routine and that, he dropped, 20 pounds,
Oh,
buffed
sure.
up a little bit, although
Yeah.
he's still, still your little boy.
Well, yeah.
And
I would not have
baby face.
recognized him on the street.
You're kidding.
He changed so much.
Isn't
Yeah.
that something?
And his
Yeah.
mom and dad both are tall. They're over 6.
Well, she's not, but he is.
Yeah. He's about 6'2" or 3". Anyway, Cameron's taller than him. Of course, much sleeker. But so it's kind of a lesson for both of them. Not only the kid, but the parents.
Right.
Is there a parent portion of this that they teach about, okay, so when the kid's done, they're going to come back, they will be different. They will expect
Yeah, they come home
More-
for
they will
1 week.
expect
Yeah, they
structure.
come home for 1 week during it coming up in a few weeks. And so it's kind of like there's the old friends, there's
Yeah.
the old
Oh.
room, the
Yeah.
old, you know,
Yeah.
and so it's a test to
all
see
the-
if they kind of
Bad
go
all
back.
the all the temptations are there
Yeah.
again. So how do you handle that? And then you got to come back and finish up your last 4
Right.
weeks or so of
That's a smart
And
idea.
so,
Yeah.
and so I asked Cameron, I says, have you decided what you're going to do differently when you come back so you don't fall back into that. And he says, well, I'm not going to keep some of the same friends. I'm getting rid of some of them.
Yeah.
So
You are who you hang out with.
Oh, boy. Especially at that
absolutely,
age. So much peer
absolutely.
pressure.
So
Yeah.
anyway, he also doesn't want to go on to college or anything like this. This is the part that, you kind of tie in with the theme of graduation matters. It matters to graduate, but then also what's beyond that.
Wonder
And
if
he,
he'll think about military going into the
Well,
that was one
Is
of
that
the
the-
things.
that's what I
and-
voted for.
And then the other thing, of course, this is all parents and grandparents voting, and you say, Cameron, what do you want to do?
Right.
And he wants to be a pipe fitter, a plumber, or pipe fitter. And I'm kind of going, my husband was in that profession. I'm going to steer you not away from the profession itself,
Right.
but some of the activities that went along, because they do have apprenticeship programs. And
Yeah.
so the night of the apprenticeship program, because they have it in the evenings, the union hall's on one side of the road and there's a tavern on the other side, and they spent most of the first half of the class at the union hall, and then the
Sure.
last
A lot of
half
long
and
nights at the
beyond.
hall.
Yeah.
Or at the tavern.
Or maybe
Yeah.
across the street from the hall.
Yeah.
So, but it all goes back to that personal discipline that he has to adopt, if he's going to succeed. So, well,
And there are educational opportunities in the military too. So,
yeah,
Oh, certainly.
yeah,
Oh, no, so great opportunities.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're we're
cool.
excited for Cameron. We hope
Yeah.
hope the best for
It's a
him,
neat little deal.
and it'll be a big deal. The weather's getting nicer.
Yes.
Spring around the corner. Some plant sales bubbling here.
Yeah.
You're reading my list, Al.
I'm teasing so that you can tell them the
I know. I
facts.
want to get
Fill
some
in.
vegetables in the
Okay.
ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the FFA, and I don't know if it was Mr. Brown has contacted you, but normally around this time of the year, is 427 to 429.
It's April 27th.
April, yes.
So next
yeah.
weekend.
Not in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, it's Friday noon to 6 and Saturday 9 to 6, and it's Sunday as well, 11 to 4. But usually they have, signs out as well, has come to us. And then the WSU plant sale, which is really a popular event, is coming up May the 18th. And Dale, you just saw that the Hoodsport Lions, you said, are having theirs?
Hoodsport Kiwanis.
Kiwanis.
Yeah, they
okay.
have their annual plant sale, 2 days, Friday and a Saturday at the
May 14th.
the Brotherhood Hall up there, Union
Sure.
Hall in Potlatch.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Another
That's their
excuse to
fundraiser.
drive the hood sport.
Yeah.
I love it out there. It's beautiful.
So anyway, all of those have provided good, vegetable plants and flowers and whatnot.
Oh, good to know.
The WSU one will be down at Wallace Neyland Park.
Okay.
And,
How many different types of tomatoes they have? We talk about it every year.
Oh, geez.
but
Goodness
you're
gracious.
you're a tomato fan.
Oh yeah, I love
So
tomato.
something
You
is
got the early
unique
girl, the early boy. What else?
about-
The Roma. I love the Roma.
so
those
the,
are the
the
most
soil
flavorful,
in
I
Mason
think.
County has some sort of unique properties that make the tomatoes flourish here, and they've got a gazillion different styles of these things.
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to get They got the heirlooms,
some
they got the
green
big
tomatoes
ones, the
for
purple
the-
ones, the little ones.
Yeah,
the
I'm a
salad
cherry
ones.
tomato
Yeah,
fan.
Oh,
like-
me too.
Yeah.
I love
like
those.
Yeah, you
We
can
grow
load up.
those
Yeah.
for sure.
exclusively. So
Well, that's what we did last year, and we just had tomatoes. But
Forever.
the
Almost get too
plants were
many.
pretty. Yeah, the plants were pretty hardy, so that was that makes it good. But
and just finished the last of our strawberries from last year,
Oh.
last weekend.
Wow.
So that was
Because I had
coming up.
I
frozen
love
Huh?
strawberry.
New ones coming up.
they're greening out. They're not no flowers or anything yet, but
That's on the to-do list is to
Clean that up.
Yeah,
How was your trip down to the Hubbardville in Centralia?
Oh,
Did you make that down there?
yeah,
with
the
Jay?
the Hubbard bungalow,
The bungalow.
on the National Historic Register in Centralia.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. I did the tour of the house. Did I talk about that on the
I mean,
radio?
you told us you were
On
meeting
the
with
w-
J Hupp, and then the next week you were going to go down there. But I don't think we ever got into what like the bungalow looked like.
So this
or-
house was built at the turn of this last century, so
Yeah.
around 1900, and is absolutely phenomenal. They've got the little room off of the front door. They've got maid's quarters.
The parlor, they call it.
Yeah, and they've got. I mean, it was just all the stuff, and the staircase was so rock solid and just big, and and majestic, and everything was just, and the
I
hardwood
love old
floors
buildings
and
like that.
beautiful beams. So the couple that live there, they're only the third owners in the house. They are an older couple, but are antique collectors and appreciators
Good.
of old. And so he'd redone all the beams and uncovered some of the old paint or wallpaper and got back to the original walls and duplicated some of the old designs that were popular in the 1900s.
Cool.
And it was just and I couldn't take any pictures because they are antique dealers and they had stuff in there they didn't want to be out in the public. They didn't want people to know what they had
What
inside.
kind of a dealer doesn't want their stuff out there?
Yeah.
Well, older people that don't want to get robbed.
Oh, sure.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
Right.
So-
Or don't have a computer to put on Craigslist.
But it was a fascinating tour, and they spent really a generous amount of time with us and answering questions. And, so I put my hand on the banister of the up at the top of the stairs. There was a little, kind of the wood got worn out on the floor where everybody came up on the banister and took a left. And Jay says, now put your hand on there and mix your DNA with your great uncle
Isn't that something?
FB. And
Were the current homeowners familiar with the story, or did
yeah,
they know?
they filled me in on some of the stuff a little bit
Oh,
too.
cool.
Yeah, and so it was really a great trip. It really was a lot of fun, and I just shared the trip with my son, and because he has no idea,
Yeah.
and so he was excited, and I sent him a picture of I took a picture of the outside of the place, and so yeah, so it was a fun trip. We're not done investigating all this stuff, so it did prompt me to dig up a cousin of mine who
The permits you have to do for that.
yeah, huh? I know. Well, all my life. So my aunt Esther was
I got that.
my dad. What?
I said, how many permits you need for that?
What's that?
To
You
dig
said you were
someone
digging up your
No.
cousin.
Dig up my cousin.
Figuratively.
Didn't have much to say. That went. Phew.
Kind of laid there, didn't you?
Yeah.
No worries.
But anyway, I said, this is a long shot. I said, but are you my Aunt Esther's son, Jerry? And then, so I never knew if Aunt Esther so she was my dad's stepsister, older. I didn't know if she was a Hubbard or if she was my grandmother's daughter.
Uh-huh.
All my life, I never knew. And so it turned out she was, in fact, a Hubbard. She was my grandfather's daughter. And then her mom died when she was 8 years old, and he remarried my grandmother.
Oh.
And then my dad and my uncle were born. So I got that all straightened out, and he goes, yes, I am that person, and he lives over on Vashon Island.
Wow.
And so we're going to get, and he's got pictures, old pictures and stuff, and so he's done some genealogy stuff, and so he's willing to meet, and we're going to go have coffee. And
Awesome.
so there's
Aw,
another
that's so
step
fun.
that I
So if
took
your
on this.
last name is Hubbard, run. 'cause
Watch out, you're going to get a phone
Dale
call.
thinks he's
I'm digging
related.
them all up.
He's gone from
Literally.
an only child to an everybody's child.
Yeah, that's probably the
More the
motivation.
merrier,
That's
right?
cool.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Why not?
That's
Yeah.
what I think.
Cool.
Yeah,
And then there's
especially-
one more family up in the Redmond area that had come down to this older couple told me about at the bungalow. Well, we had some other Hubbards here from Redmond a few years ago, and they've got some pictures, and so I think they're also relatives. And
Oh, fun.
I have no idea. I had no idea. So I'm digging around to try to find them
Start
too.
building those family trees.
telling you.
They are something
No,
else.
fun.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You need to change your terminology from digging up and digging around. People think you're doing that literally.
Investigating.
Investigative reporting.
That's
Very
what I'm
cool.
doing. Yeah,
Yeah, watch out.
Cool.
And the books are going good. So I got 2 in quality control, and hopefully they'll pass muster, and we'll be talking about being available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes soon.
All right. How fun.
Very cool.
So if you want the voice of Mason County, you got her.
So it's been good. It's been a good process.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, Dale and Jerry, thank you.
Well, you're welcome.